With Sprinklr, you can explore, monitor, and analyze the conversations happening around the world on any topic. This is done by setting up your listening structure with topics, themes, and keyword lists. In this video, we're going to be talking about topics. Listening topics are advanced queries that continuously find conversations relevant to your brand and pull them into your Sprinklr environment for analysis. Out of all the different elements of the listening structure, topics are the most important or the key one. This is going to be the thing, the entity that is actually pulling in those mentions into Sprinklr. With a running topic, you're going to have those mentions coming in that you can then analyze in listening dashboards. Now, as these mentions are getting pulled into Sprinklr, they're going to consume from your total allocated mentions, which is a number that's going to be set. That's one of the reasons why you want to be mindful when setting up your topic with the best keywords, the best setup, the right operators that help you pull in all those mentions that are relevant so you get everything that you need to see. And don't pull in anything that's irrelevant to your brand because that will just consume mentions without having any purpose. And it will also clutter your results. So consider that topics are ideal for long-term monitoring, for in-depth analysis. There's quite a lot that goes into creating them well, and we'll talk about this today. So if what you're looking for is just something that you can quickly use to search some results, to get an idea on a topic, and then step away from it, topics are probably not the thing for you, and you should use something like Quick Search, which we have some training on as well. So let's learn how to create a topic. From a new page on Sprinklr, make sure you're under Sprinklr Insights, and topics are going to be the very first element of your listening structure, so right here. When you click this, you're going to see a list of all your existing topics in your Sprinklr environment. Now, you may see this blue toggle right here that says fetching. The active topics need to be actively fetching, and those will be pulling in mentions into your space. If a topic is disabled or non-fetching like this one, this is not actually pulling in anything into Sprinklr. It's sort of in a library here for you to turn on whenever you want, but it's not actually pulling in mentions. At this time, it's not active. You can filter those with this filter if you'd like, as well as apply other filters. If you see something like this warning icon right here, this means that even though the topic is fetching and it's active, for some reason, it is not pulling in mentions. In this case, it's because it has reached its end date configured in the system. It was configured to an end date and that date has passed, so it has stopped pulling in mentions. Another reason could be that there's been a threshold set, a limit of mentions, and they've already been consumed. So it's a good thing to check, even though you can set up also alerts for people to be notified. If what you want to do with your topics is just grab a topic that somebody else configured, or maybe yourself you configured at one point and see the results, then you can just simply open this view report dashboard. So this is going to open a standard listening dashboard with some data on that topic. This is a great starting point for whenever you want to start analyzing your topic mentions. But for that, we do have training on listening dashboards and listening analysis. In this video, what we'll be learning is how to create one of these topics. To create one of these topics, you're going to start by clicking the Add Topic button, and then we're going to have to go through 3 steps. The first one is going to be topic details. Your topic is going to need a name. This one is going to be about vegan food. And then you have to assign it to a topic group. This is mandatory, so you have to select one of the existing groups. I'm going to search for food, and we do have a food topic group. Topic groups are important because first you can use them to analyze the topics within it together. You can also set consumption limits to the entire topic group. And there's also governance that's set up at the topic group, such as who can view and use and edit the topic. So topic groups are going to be important in those aspects. Here you're going to have the dates. The start date of your topic, when it's going to start fetching mentions, and when it's going to end. Now, you cannot go back and start fetching messages last week. If you need to start last week, last month, or whenever, you're going to have to do a backfill, and we have some training on that as well. That's going to be separate. You can set it up for right now, which is the default, or say this is for Halloween, so I'm going to start this in probably September, right? So you could set it up in the future, but not in the past. And then you will have to set up an end date. In most cases, this is going to be mandatory. So you have to set a limit. You can set it far in the future, like for example, end of year, but you do have to specify an end date. Next element is going to be selecting your topic type. there are 4 main topic types, and then there's also these other 2. There's query-based, account-based, profile or domain-based, and location-based listening. Query-based is going to be based on Boolean operators and keywords. So we're going to set up a Boolean query for this. Account-based is going to look at your own account, so comments that come in through your connected channels. Profile or domain-based is going to listen to specific either users' profiles or specific domains for more traditional media or web media, etc. And location-based listening is going to be geographic. So we're going to listen to a specific location. In this video, we're going to see the query-based and the profile-based. There's going to be separate training on these other 2. I'm going to start with query-based because it's the most popular type. About 90% of topics, maybe even more, are query-based. And then last thing on your topic details, you may have some custom properties that you have to set up, but that's not going to be true for every case. Also pay attention to Sprinklr display attributes. So you can give your topic a display name and a display color for it to look nice on your reports and on your display. Great. So now that we've set up the details and we've selected query-based listening, let's go to the second step, which is set up query. In this screen, we're going to define the query that's going to make those mentions come into Sprinklr. There are 2 different query builders. We can use the basic or the advanced. If you're using basic, this is a great option for those of you who are new to Boolean operators and topic building. You have this little assistant that helps you sort of organize your thoughts around the topic. So you have a section to add any of these keywords need to be present. All of these keywords need to be present, and then none of these keywords which are exclusions. So we said our topic's going to be about vegan foods. Typically in all of these keywords, let's say that it's also about our brand, we would enter something like my brand, a keyword. And now you can see that we start to get a preview of some matching mentions. We want all of the mentions to include my brand, so we're going to put it in here. And then in any of these keywords, we're going to add keywords for vegan foods. So I'm going to say tofu. Seitan, and then I think I was getting some cool suggestions here. Paneer, that's another good one. And now this is going to be an assistant. Your actual query is getting set up at the bottom. So you can see what it's actually looking like. You can see that the terms you entered with an or operator are all together here. And then there's the other term that you selected as mandatory, my brand. Now, this is one way to do it, to add individual keywords, and that works. But best practice says to utilize your keyword lists in these queries. For example, let's add a keyword list that we have previously created, and you can see them here, keyword list on vegan and plant-based terms. Make sure if you're using keyword list that the internal operator of the keyword list makes sense. In most cases, it's going to be the or operator because any of these terms could be enough. You don't need all of them. And now you can see that your query is so much longer, right? You have all of these terms in the or operator, right? You could do the same for my brand. So you could have, typically you will have a keyword list for your brand where you have all of the different ways that people talk about your brand. Another common thing to do is to have a keyword list in the exclusions where you're going to enter. Typically we have a profanity keyword list with words that we just don't want to see. And then we could have another exclusion list with things like terms that get mixed up with your brand that really are irrelevant. So you could add those here. If you want to use the advanced operator, you can click here and you'll see that in this case, you're going to be entering your keyword query manually. So you will be entering the terms and the operators. There are so many operators that you can use. The basic builder will restrict you to those 3 basic ones. But in the advanced ones, you have so many. You can check them here. There's also a help a knowledge portal article on these. So there's a lot that you could do here. Feel free to explore these to learn about Boolean. Another thing that you can do here is you can actually use AI to generate a query. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to generate a query. Let's do a brand query. Let's say I'm the Louvre Museum. And what products and services do we offer? Art, culture, museum. And the AI is going to start creating a query for us. So with that, that can also be just a starting point. You can still modify it and even use AI to expand on these keywords. Great. Let's go back to basic. If you use the advanced builder, if you go back to basic, you will lose your changes. So another thing that is going to help you as you create your topic query is this little window right here. The preview is going to give you some examples of the kind of mentions that you'd be picking up. So maybe you detect something that you want to exclude or something that you want to expand on. You can also see smart clusters. You can also see a summary and also an estimate that shows you the volume on X on the last 24 hours. This is only an estimate because it will only show you X, but it is a way to see if this is going to be too big and you have to narrow it down. Last consideration, if you're going to be using hashtags, so let's say that you use the hashtag, doesn't matter if it's in a keyword list or individually, you're going to see this warning. Hashtags need to be enabled for them to work on Instagram. So here, you're going to get a warning. If the hashtag is not currently enabled, you have a little preview option. You can enable it from here. And there's more information on that on its own separate video. Last step is going to be to apply the filters. So here you can filter your topic. The first thing you have is sources. By default, all of the available sources are going to be here. So these are the places where you're going to be pulling in those mentions from. If you want, let's say that you're not interested in Quora, you can take it off. And also, let's say Reddit. We don't want Reddit in here. You can do that. Keep in mind, if you are going to be doing that, you will be missing out on those mentions sort of forever. Yes, you could do backfill and stuff, but keep in mind that this is pretty radical. You could always have the topic with all of the sources and then have a visualization that excludes the source or that narrows down in the source. So you can filter when you're actually analyzing the topic. But if you exclude it from the topic itself, those mentions will just not be pulled into Sprinklr. They will not consume mentions, so it's a good mention management measure, but they will also be completely excluded from your environment, and it's something to keep in mind. Other filters that you have available are languages, age category, and location. So you could say, instead of all languages, I just want things in English, for example, and that would change your results. The age category and location filters are a little bit trickier. In most cases, you will not want to set them up. And that is because these have very specific use cases. Consider that not all your mentions are going to have location information or age category attached, either because the source does not share that info through their API, or because the user who posted never specified their gender, age category, location, anything like that, so we don't have access to it. There are some use cases where we still prioritize a location or that information whenever it's available, but this should not be something that you set up globally. In most cases, you're going to leave it blank. Here you can filter out any spam with profile lists that you create, domain lists that you create to filter out spam. And down here, you have some options related to X. X is typically a high volume source, and you might want to consider some of these options. Take a look at them and decide if you want to enable a few of these. Now, once you're completely happy with your topic, you think it's set up correctly and you want to start using it, you can hit save. Before you do consider that by default, topics are set up to not fetching. So if you save it right now, it's just going to be saved in the library, but it will not pull in any mentions. If you want to have it start fetching immediately, enable the fetching option right there. And now you can save. You can also just save it and activate it later. And now I have created this topic. And I can activate it here. Let's add a new topic, and let's do one that's going to be profile or domain based. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to add it to a topic group. And I will have to set up an end date right here. Now I'll change to the profile or domain based type. If you notice, as I click this second step right here changed names. Instead of setup query, now it says setup profile. So you'll see when you go to the next step, either clicking or hitting next, you will be asked to select a profile list, specific profiles, or a domain list. So this topic is not going to be listening for keywords. It's going to be listening for people. You will have to have this created ahead of time. So if you need to set up a Profile lists, those are set up in the settings. They could be set up at the workspace level or at the customer level. And profile lists are basically, when you create them, they're just going to be an empty list with a name on the list. The list could be called anything, and an owner who will be the person that created it. Now, people get added to this list in multiple ways. You could add people by having them by doing a data import. By your interactions with your customer service team, they can add people to profile list as they interact, or also with an automation in your rule engine, which, let's say, if somebody mentions your topic and also has X amount of followers, you're going to automatically add them to the list. So there's many ways that you could have lists that contain people. Now, in here, you're going to select a list. So I'm going to add one of my influencer lists. And now you're going to see that this populates. You can also add individual profiles, for example. And these are going to be only available on X. For example, NASA. And now you can see that we also get a preview and everything. You can set up your topic like this with just the people or the domain list. We can also work with domain lists. If you do set that up and you want to include specific domains, you should make sure that those are added and verified. And there's more information on its own separate lesson. Now, you can set it up like this with just the people or the domains. This will mean that every single post that these people send out or these domains send out will be caught by your topic. There's a use case for that, but it does also consume a large amount of mentions. So you can refine this topic by setting up again another some keywords, keyword query. So for example, let's say you want influencers talking about food. So we will work with our food keyword list. And now you will see whenever people mentioned food only. The last step will be applying filters. There's going to be no difference here other than, of course, if your topic is based on an X list, then that would be the only relevant one. But you can still have this set up with everything as is, and it will work perfectly fine. Let's save this one as well. And that is your topic. Let's go back to the list. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is going to be about governance. So as we mentioned briefly, topic governance is set up at the topic group level, and every topic is going to be part of a topic group. One easy way to see this is to use the grouping option. So we're going to group our topics by topic group, and then we're going to see all of our different topic groups. This is the topic group where we added our 2 topics, and you will be able to see them right here. Make sure that they're active if you want them to actually fetch. And if you want to set up governance like sharing and permissions, remember that you will have to do that at the topic group level. So here you're going to decide who gets to access this topic group, all the topics in this topic group. To create a new topic group, you can do so by accessing this button that says Add Topic. It has a drop-down with other options, and one of them is Add Topic Group. So from here, you could create your topic group. It's common to have a topic group for your competitors, where you can create one topic for each of your competitors, also one for your products. Here you could create one topic for each one of your products, and then that is enough to set up your topic group. In most cases, we share them with everybody and everybody gets access. If you already have a topic group with that name, you will not be able to create it. So let's create a different one that we haven't had before. So for example, one for industry events where we could create a topic for each of the big events that our industry has every year. So different conferences, etc. That could be one. And let's set it so that only a few people in our organization will have access to this topic group. So we would select a user group. So now only this user group will have access to the industry events topic group and the topics that we create within it. Here's our topic group now. You can see that it has 0 topics inside at this point. So if we open it, we'll find that it's empty. To add topics to this topic group, we can get those 3 dots and select Add Topic. And now you'll see that the topic group is already filled out. A different way to do this would be to just click Add Topic, select our topic group. Also notice that if you're creating a topic, you will have the option to create a new topic group at this stage. So the option is also in here. So now you're familiar with the structure and setup of topics. There's going to be a separate lesson on other types of topics. So make sure that you continue with your learning. See you again in the next videos.